As a former coach, Andy Farrell sits back over the next couple of months, or even the next month, and reviews it. What are the big ticks for Ireland? Is it Jack Crowley? Is it Calvin Nash? In your eyes, or bigger picture pattern, has attack improved, Matt? Or which way do you think he'll see it?
It's a great question, Stu. I think the first thing you'll see is his trophy sitting on the bench. You know, like,
sorry, I mean individually outside of the accolades of winning, which is incredible.
That's the first thing you'll see, right? So there's a trophy sitting on the bench. So what they're doing is working. Even when it's not going great, they're working. The second part is it's transition year losing Sexton, losing an all-time great player at 10 that's been there for 15 years. Yeah, and we saw what losing their great player in Dupont did to France and Farrell to England. We saw that. What it's done, it completely their attack became completely disorganised, except for brief periods of the game. Jack Crowley stepped in and did a sensational job. So the attacking system carried on, the defensive system carried on, an extremely good defensive effort right through the tournament, the lowest number of tries conceded from anyone. They would say that they went away to Marseille and won, and they went to Twickenham and performed to an incredible level, not as well as they could. So I think he'll say a lot of things. I think then he'll say, what is it we have to do to go to South Africa to win? That's the next part. So he'll say, look, we've got through the World Cup, remembering that the Six Nations post-World Cups is usually a poor Six Nations because the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa, after the Six Nations, they don't play for another 7 months till June of the following year. In the North, you have to play 6 weeks later, and emotionally that's hard. You're in camp. You know, the Six Nations countries in the World Cup year are in camp for almost 6 months of the year. That drains on you. So I think you would say the enthusiasm, the team spirit, the culture, leadership, all those things were ticks. It doesn't mean they performed at their best. So what have they got to do to win in South Africa? He would also say, being what he is, which is an old warrior himself, it's the next battle that counts. So he knows to go to the high veld and win, they're going to have to be considerably better than they were to win the Six Nations Championship. There's no doubt about that. I think number one on the list is Jack Crowley's kicking off the tee. He's going to have to work with, or Jack's going to have to get help and work to get his consistency up. He's going to have to work at that with Munster. We want to see Jack kicking it around 85% and above. And then I think that the other part is learning from what he did with his selections. The 6-2 bench, it worked one time and it was a disaster another. What do they do when they lose Hugo Keenan? That seems to be one of the only positions in the team where Ireland don't have multiple choices. You know, when you've got Gary Ringrose not making the side, your centres are good. You know, you look at the wingers that we're going to coming back with. Mac Hansen comes back and so on. What are the options? They've got some good options there. Second rowers, McCarthy coming through. You know, you've got Ollie Jaeger stepping up. Plenty of options at hooker, two of the best hookers in the world now, the Irish side. So he would have some of those questions, but the questions would be asked only in the context of beating South Africa.